So this bonus video is for anyone that wants to recreate the lighting system I showed in the tutorial. So you don't need to follow along, but this is just for people that do want to recreate the look that I made. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Let's first make our backdrop here. I'm going to put down a plane, and you're already going to be familiar with this process. I'm going to go to Edge. I'm going to select the two last edges on this rim right here, and then I'm just going to double click to select. Oh, didn't want to do that. There we go. So now from here, we can go up to Edit Mesh, Extrude. Let's just pull that up just so that we have a backdrop here. And then going to come in and I'm going to select this edge again. Let's go to Edit Mesh, Bevel. Let's bring up the segments to maybe 4. Okay. So now we don't want to leave our backdrop gray. We do want to give it a shader that we can change the color on. So I'm going to right click and hold. I'm going to go down to Assign New Material, Arnold, Standard Surface. Now if we go to the attribute editor, we now have the shader here versus if we were using Hypershade, and we can edit our shader from here. So I just want to change the base color. Let's do a dark blue. Something like this. And the roughness, there is no roughness. So this is going to be a very reflective backdrop. I don't want that. I want to have a matte backdrop. So let's go to the specular tab and let's bring the specular roughness all the way up. So now this backdrop is no longer reflective. Now let's set up our camera. I'm going to change my view from the 4-panel view to the 2-panel view over here. So I'm just going to click this one. Now this one is in front view. This one's in perspective. Let's bring down a camera. I'm going to go up to Create, down to Cameras, Camera. So it's going to open it. It's going to put it right here in the middle of my scene. And I want to change this view from front view to Panels, Perspective, Camera. So now we're looking through the camera on this one. And I just want to focus my camera in on my mushrooms. I'm going to rename it to Camera. I'm also just going to turn on my textures here as well. Okay, let's go to the render settings right here really quickly, and let's make sure our settings are in place. My image format is going to be JPEG. We're going to be rendering from the camera. And I want to change my presets to HD 1080, making sure I'm using the Arnold renderer. So now if I go to View, Camera Settings, Resolution Gate, we know exactly what our final image is going to look like. So I'm going to get all the mushrooms in view here. The backdrop's a little too small for me, so I'm going to stretch it out. There we go. So now I'm okay with this being my final image, so I'm just going to lock my camera so I can no longer move it around in my camera view, but I can still look at it inside of my perspective view. I can't move it though because it is locked. So now I have my camera and I have my backdrop in place. Let's set up my lights. I'm going to go up to Arnold. I'm going to go down to Lights, and I'm going to do an area light. And let's start off with our key light, which is just our main light in a 3-point lighting system. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to rotate it. I want it to be a little above the mushrooms, somewhere around there, and I do just want to rotate it down so it's pointing at the mushrooms at an angle. So this is my key light, and let's change the attributes in the attribute editor. I want to change my color to a light pink. So I'm going to click this and let's find a nice pink color. Maybe something like that. It's a little too dark for me. I think I'm going to go a little lighter. Go with that. I'm going to set my intensity to 3.700. I'm going to set my exposure to 1.600. And I do want to turn off normalize right here. So normalize is now turned off. Let's open up the Arnold render view. Make sure that you're rendering from our camera. And okay, so now we have our key light in place. I'm going to stop the renderer right there. Now I am going to duplicate this key light. So I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to bring it over to the other side, and I am going to rotate it. See if we can rotate it down. Okay, and that's going to be our fill light. So let's change the settings of the fill light. I am going to just rename it to fill. And over in the attribute editor, I'm going to change the color to a yellow. See if I can find a color that I like. Maybe a little less yellow. Maybe something like that, like a baby yellow. Okay, that works. Now let's set the intensity for this one to 6 and the exposure to 0.5. Then make sure normalize is turned off, and that should work for our fill light. We can check it in the render view. Let me bring it up. Okay, so now we have our pink key light and our yellow fill light. I'm going to stop that right there. Now let's do our rim light. I'm going to bring down a new Arnold area light. So go to Arnold Lights Area Light. I'm just going to pull it back behind the mushrooms and lift it up. You can see it's facing the wrong way, so we need to flip this. We can even go to the channel box, and in the rotate Y, we can put in 180. So now it's directly facing it. Okay. So now here, we can leave it where it's at, leave the color white, and I'm going to change the intensity to 7 and the exposure to 3. And I'm going to turn off normalize. So now let's open up the render view again. Let's check that out. Okay, so now we have a rim light. It's lighting up the floor a little too much for me, so I'm actually going to stop it. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to bring the spread down just a teeny bit too. Let's go back to the renderer. Okay, that works for me. I'm going to stop it right there. Now we have our 3-point lighting system set up, but I also want to make my mushrooms glow. So I'm going to bring down another Arnold Lights Area Light. And this one, I'm just going to lift it up, and I want to rotate it so that it's pointing straight down. Now in the settings in the attribute editor, I want to change the color to a bright teal like this one, which will work very well for glow. I want to change my intensity to 1.3 and my exposure to 2.3. I'm going to change the light shape from quad to disc. You can see it changed the shape of the light. And I want to change the spread from 1 to half, so 0.5. And make sure normalize is turned off. Now I do need to put this beneath my mushroom so it looks like the glow is coming from the cap of the mushroom itself. That may be a little too much, and I just want to get it underneath the cap here. Okay, so now when we open up the render view, we can check that. There's a glow. So that looks great. I'm gonna stop that right there, and I'm going to do Control D to duplicate that. And the duplicate, I'm just going to bring and put beneath this mushroom cap. Let me rotate it just a bit so that's directly beneath it. And then that one, I'm going to duplicate that one again. So Control D. And with that duplicate, let's put it beneath the cap of this mushroom. And I'm going to scale it down a bit because it's a little too big. And I'm going to push that back. Okay, so now let's check the render view again. And there are our glowing mushrooms. So this works for my final lighting setup. This is pretty much what I had in the tutorial. You can change the parameters further. You can edit things. You can change the colors for each of your lights. But this was my general setup. So now from here, you can render out your final image and you're all set.